Hello, Crypto Novas family. My name is Chris Brown, for those of you who don't know, and I'm the host of the channel. I realize it's been a while since I've been on the channel and done a video. A lot of things have been going on, making some improvements to the channel to make the quality of the content a whole lot better, and those things will unfold as time progresses, and I'll bring some new surprises. Today, I'm in beautiful Southern California with the Mayborn Hotel in my background. Which is a beautiful work of architecture, and since I'm an architect, I kind of like those things. In terms of coming back, I wanted to do a response video to Dogecoin creator Jackson Palmer. Last week he did a couple of tweets, or maybe more than a couple, criticizing the cryptocurrency market, and more importantly, really criticizing the investors, calling them basically financially desperate and naive. So I'd like to take a look at the article that was written, which shared with us the tweets that he did make. I would like to give some feedback to those tweets and to respond to them in this video. So here's the article. Look at this title: Dogecoin creator likens cryptocurrency to a scam run by powerful cartel to benefit the rich. So let's take a deep dive into what this article has to say. So for those of you who don't know, that Jackson Palmer was the creator of Dogecoin back in 2013 as an inspired joke, which you have to take that in consideration to his comments, that if he created a digital asset, which was a store of value, as a joke, how much confidence did he really have in cryptography, in the space, and in the technology as it moves forward, and the overall financial situation on the global market space in regards to fiat currency. But let's take a look closely at what he had to say. Okay, so basically his particular coin had reached into the billions, which led him to make this comment and write that cryptocurrency had attracted shark-like scammers and opportunists. Interesting comment. As you go on to, this article goes on to state, but the laugh appears to be on millions of ordinary investors. The Australian entrepreneur suggested last week in a series of blistering tweets denouncing Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies as something resembling a mass Ponzi scheme to extract new money from the financially desperate and naive. Ouch, that hurts. Says, this is his quote: After years of studying it, I believe that cryptocurrency is inherently right-wing, hyper-capitalistic technology built primarily to amplify the wealth of its proponents through a combination of tax avoidance, diminished regulatory oversight, and artificially enforced scarcity. So basically, he thinks this is completely a scam, and anybody involved in it are thieves. He goes on to state that the cryptocurrency industry leverages a network of shady business connections, bot influencers, and pay-to-play media outlets to perpetuate a cult-like get-rich-quick funnel designed to extract new money from the financially desperate and naive. Well, that's what Mr. Palmer has to say. So I'd like to respond to Mr. Palmer's comments with three basic points. First, let's take a look at where the cryptocurrency market is right now today. So if we take a look at the market, we can see that there are 11,000 different digital assets. We've got over 384 exchanges. The current market cap is 1.3 trillion, and the daily volume in the last 24 hours has been over $80.9 billion. That's not a small market at all when it comes to assets. Granted, there are much larger ones, but a market cap of 1.3 trillion is substantial. But let's focus right now on this 11,000 digital currencies. This is where I will agree with Mr. Palmer, that out of 11,000 digital currencies, I do not believe that all of them are legitimate currencies. I don't believe that all of them are legitimate projects, and I don't believe all of them are good investments. Hence, when I do my videos on my channel, I really stress investors to take a look at the business use case of each particular assets, try to understand the problem of trying to solve within the technical space of cryptography and money, and see how they are responding to that and who the project team is to implement the project that they're talking about or trying to solve. I do believe out of the 11,000, there are digital assets that are scams and that will extract your money if you're not careful. However, I do believe there are legitimate projects that are offering value to the consumer. And I'll use Ethereum as an example. It obviously is a platform that has the network effect. There's a lot of projects that have been created upon it, and it does have its competitor like Cardano, and what Charles Hutchinson is trying to do with his particular platform, and how he has partnered with educational institutions to really improve the platform experience for its users. So I think while there are some coins that are going to be scammers and you have to beware, I do not think that all of the cryptocurrency within the crypto space are bad, and therefore I don't believe that the cryptocurrency space is a scam. Let's take a look also at this issue of value. Mr. Palmer made the comment that those that are involved in the cryptocurrency space are financially desperate and naive. And the first gentleman that comes to mind is Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy. He's a billionaire. I don't think he's financially desperate, and I don't think after creating a company that's worth billions, he's naive. I think he's probably a very intelligent gentleman, and would love the opportunity to meet him. So I think Palmer's comment that those involved are financially desperate and naive is an overstatement. I think individual corporations like MicroStrategy that has invested billions of dollars into cryptocurrency, I think MicroStrategy has about 105,000 total. I think there's some wisdom behind what Michael Saylor is doing. I think the establishment that Bitcoin has as a store of value is a good one, and I think those institutions and corporations that are continuing to buy Bitcoin, even though the market is depressed at the present time, are making a choice based on store of value and what they foresee the future being. I think what these corporations are doing are a great example to us smaller investors, and that we can learn from what they're doing and we can also benefit from what they're doing. While our pocketbooks and our ability to purchase Bitcoin may not be in the billions, it may not be in the hundreds of millions, it may not even be in the hundreds of thousands, it might be just simply in the thousands or the tens of thousands, it still is a good investment for us. There are also other projects other than Bitcoin. Some of them are platforms, some of them are store value currencies. Those offer us also some upside potential that I think is worth us taking a look at. I think the key statement, though, is that you must do your own research, you must do your homework, and you must understand what the project has to offer, and you must have an investment strategy. I think one of the big things that the larger corporations and institutions have is just that. There is an investment strategy that they have figured out and they are implementing, and that is what we need to do as smaller investors. The last issue I want to address is an item that I think Mr. Palmer failed to acknowledge, and that has to do with the problem that fiat currency has right now today. In the Miami Bitcoin Summit that happened this past year, there was a lot of conversation about global debt and the problem with global debt and the problem with fiat currency. The present global reserve currency, which is the US dollar, is definitely in trouble with all of the printing of money that just recently happened. The value or the buying power of that dollar certainly has dropped, and there is a serious problem that needs to be addressed. Mr. Palmer didn't address that, so the question is, how is that going to be addressed? And I think that the digital currency space is one that's going to address it. There needs to be a shift and a backing of whatever currency takes the lead, whether it's the US dollar, whether it's the Chinese yuan. There needs to be backed with something. And there's a lot of conversation right now that Bitcoin might be what it's backed up against. Palmer didn't address that issue. And so I think that issue, along with the transferring of value, with technology being in place today the way that it is, using fiat currency just simply is not the best way to do it. And technology has given us an avenue to where we can transfer value much quicker. So I think this is a big, huge oversight on Palmer's case. But there again, he's a guy that created a digital currency as simply a joke. So if you're doing something as a joke, it already kind of sets the tone for your perception and your point of view as to how you're going to be moving forward in this space. And he's surprised of how it turned out in terms of its value. He didn't expect it to increase in value the way that it did. So in conclusion, Palmer says that the crypto market space is a scam, and those that invest in it are financially desperate and they're naive. My response is, I think he's full of it. I think the crypto market space has some value. I don't think all of the coins in it are coins that you should invest in, so you need to be wise. You need to do your research, because you could lose money if you invest in the wrong project. But there are some valid projects. The cryptography and the space has been evolving way back, from my research, all the way back into the late 80s in terms of the technology. Cryptography actually goes back even further than that. So this isn't a brand new technology. It isn't a brand new space. There has been predecessors that didn't quite get off the ground before Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was built on those predecessors as a refined technology. I think those that are involved in this space are not financially desperate. There's quite a bit of financially astute individuals, corporations, and institutions that are betting heavily in this market space based on their experience in the financial markets, and they're bringing that knowledge to this space. Lastly, I don't think they're naive. I think there's a lot of intelligent people that want to move forward in this space and see the leveraging potential that this technology offers. And as the blockchain technology evolves, and as it joins with other technologies like with AI, I think we're going to see tremendous upside and potential for investing in this space. And I'm in this for the long haul. I do not think this is a get-rich-quick market space to be in. I think you need to take a long-term perspective and have a long-term strategy. Summarize, I hope that these comments and these ideas that I've shared with you have been helpful, and I just wish you all the very best as you continue to invest. Again, this is Crypto Novus, where newbies in this space do in fact become masters, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.